Hi everyone, welcome to Webcast Wednesday. My name is Avni Gala and I'm the marketing manager here at Exclusive Networks USA. As you know that FineTech was last year acquired by Exclusive Networks, who advanced its global distribution partner offering with this acquisition. With over 50 offices across 5 continents and presence in over 100 countries, Exclusive Group brings all the essential elements of a proven winning strategy for market entry and growth. With this webinar, we would like our reseller partners to learn about the Fortinet Cyber Threat Assessment Program. So let's look at today's agenda. I'm going to start off with an introduction on our company, Exclusive Networks, then followed by an introduction of the presenter and the things we will cover today. Then we're going to do Q&A, and finally we're going to do 2 drawings for Amazon $25 Amazon gift card. So for those who are not familiar with Exclusive Networks, we are a value-added distributor that specializes specifically in network security and IT security solutions. We work with Fortinet, Gigamon, Savius, Bedford Networks, AlgoSec, Safety, and Recmont IT. So these are the these are the companies that we distribute products of. The services that we provide include inventory. So we are one of the value-added distributors that would hold inventory for our customers well-built. We provide financing and leasing options. We give you flexible payment methods. We do sales support from initial quote to close. Any marketing support like events, webinars, and campaigns for our partners and their customers. And any technical services from demo to deployment. So if you need an extra hand, we supply a hand to the demand. Before I go on the webinar details, let me brief you on the bio of our presenter. So Christian Postier has worked in information security since 2001. Rounding out his 6th year at Fortinet, he has worked on just about everything that has a network port. Starting at Fortinet in professional services, Christian would travel nationwide doing major implementations and upgrades for major telecom ISPs, universities, hospitals, financial institutions, and state-run agencies. Later, Christian moved to the sales engineering side, focusing on helping customers achieve their goal, utilizing the entire Fortinet security fabric. And in the last 2 years, he has turned his focus onto this channel side, speaking nationwide at both events and on-site with partners all over the U.S. on how they can utilize the power of Fortinet's security fabric to help them less headaches and easier cloud management solutions to help them drive the sales. Before Fortinet, Christian was located in Dallas, Texas at 7-Eleven Corporate, managing integrated network of both corporate offices and over 8,000 store locations, all with redundant backup mobile broadband connections and redundant data center backbones. So that was about our presenter. And in today's webinar, you will learn how you can get rewarded for up to $250 for every completed CTAP while helping your customers assess their network security. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Christian Postier and help you understand the Fortinet Cyber Threat Assessment Program.
All right, thank you, Avani. Let me share my screen here. Let's talk 1. Okay. Are you able to see that okay?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Thanks for that introduction. Today, luckily for you, we don't have to go over any boring PowerPoint from slide to slide. I'll just kind of get right into it, show you where to go to see all the information you need on the CTAP, and how to navigate around there. So, of course, if you're new to this, CTAP being our Cyber Threat Assessment Program. Now, this has been out for a while, almost 2 years, a little more than that. But it only works on specific models because they really test the specific configuration, the CTAP config, for these models. But for you guys, what's great on this last quarter, just out of beta, is the 60E config. So being able to utilize a 60E for the CTAP is just awesome because it's a small device. If you guys want to get a 60E to use for CTAP, you can do an NFR, and not for resale, just to have as a partner lab use. So you get that full 55% off, right? So good discount, but that doesn't mean you still can't use the 100D, the 300D, and the 1500D. But they are actually working on some newer models as well around that, so maybe switching from the 100D to the 100D. Anyway, jumping into it, this all starts at your partner portal, right? That's always your jumping stone to everything. So make sure you guys have your login credentials and they're working. Don't forget that password. You can always forget password, but jump into the partner portal first and use that as your jumping stone. And the same with the CTAP portal. Those are your same credentials as the partner portal. So you don't have to have any new specific registrations just for that. So when you jump in, you'll see, and this just changed actually in the last couple of weeks. You know, me and Mary in Exclusive, we're always like, man, where are the links at? They keep moving them around. But you'll see one right here on the screen just called CTAP, C-T-A-P. That'll take you directly to the portal. You can also always go around to the promotions, right? The promotions change from quarter to quarter. Now the CTAP has extended. I mean, this has been going on for the last year. So guys, don't be worried about this going away anytime soon. If they do remove that spiff, we will let you know ahead of time. But it's been the same reward, and they're really trying to ramp up the CTAP program. So I don't see this going anywhere anytime soon. So be sure to utilize it now and start getting those $250 rewards each time. So if you click on the promotions, you'll see the CTAP extends into 2018. So you can go and check out the flyer, or you can go right to the CTAP page. I'm going to go right to the CTAP page. And once you log in, like I said, it's just your same credentials as your partner portal. So you log in, and let's do that now. And it's going to take you right to the dashboard. Now this page can be a little confusing when you first log in, because you're like, oh, what is going on? But when you have active CTAPs out there, they'll be displayed here. They'll actually be listed here, and we'll create a new one and show you that. But in the meantime, if you guys have not played around in this site, be sure to go to the help menu over here. Now the help menu will have 3 links here. The tutorial, that's just going to show you how I'm creating a new assessment. Of course, the frequently asked questions and downloads. Downloads is a great link to click on to really learn a lot about what's going on in this. So we're going to have the overview video. This is a very short video, just a little whiteboard session with Matty Bleacher. Unfortunately, he's no longer even with the company, but he just talks a little bit about CTAPs. Pretty old video, a couple of years old. And then we have the training video. Now, a lot of this is being updated because if you look at the configuration checklist, this is only going to show the Model 300D and the 1500D on how to set that up. Now, each FortiGate is the same when configuring these, as in there's going to be 2 ways to deploy these devices, and that is in a transparent inline mode or a sniffer mode. The difference between that is ports 1 and 2 is just it's gonna be a bump in the line, and so you just grab the normal cable that goes out to the internet, and you just plug it in there and just make it a bridge connection, and it's gonna watch. Now CTAP has always been non-intrusive. It's not going to block any traffic. It's not going to do its normal IPS and things that a normal FortiGate would do. It's just going to listen and put those logs into a report. So the configuration checklist is being updated now with the 60E and the 100D, but you won't see that now. But I'll show you exactly how to configure that. Some other things for your salespeople on talking points, for SEs, for sales engineers, talking points on the program. There's also a full-page print ad that you can actually check out on the CTAP. And then, of course, it goes over how to claim that Forti-Reward $250 reward after completing an assessment. Some other things here, pitch video. These are kind of little funny cartoonish type videos. Meet Ed, a little cartoon, whiteboard little session. And of course, we have our sample report, the customer flyer. The customer flyer is pretty cool. It's just a PDF you guys can download and actually send to, or just print it out and take it to a client. And it's just a nice little flyer that talks about the program and what it's going to see. And then the supplementary slides, that's going to be, I actually think I have my PowerPoint open with it. It's just a little overview of the program. You can use this to download and show to your customer or put into your own slides of how a CTAP report works, what's in there, and what the whole point of the program is. So it's just a short, 5 actual slides with the ending slide here. So feel free to download those, throw your guys' own logos in there and everything. So these are the kind of the nice help menu guides on the CTAP program. Now I will actually create a new CTAP through the dashboard. And the dashboard is where I go to see my existing CTAPs out there. And you guys can have multiple FortiGates. So if you already have a 100D model or 300D or a 60E already that you guys want to use, feel free to utilize that and get those CTAPs going. You can have multiple going and you can claim the reward. Now, also, I can create test assessments all day, especially if I'm brand new in this program and I don't know what I'm doing. I just wouldn't go through the Forti-Rewards program, to claim the spiff because it would want the customer's information and all that. So you can just make test ones, complete them in your own network, just to make sure you kind of know what you're doing. And I do recommend that. I recommend you guys go in there, put it on your own network or your home network just to see kind of the process of doing it. Because once you guys get this down, it's really easy to do, especially with that 60E model, right? So that thing's so small, it's not even a 1U, it's like a half U. And you can just go and separate power supply brick and put it in a network very easily. So a new assessment, I'm going to click new here. You'll see basically this form, and I'll tell you some of the important things to point out on this form. Put in your company, let's do test company. I can, and you guys can actually put all this as well. That'll kind of let corporate know that this is really one for test. And of course, the red is the required field, so you do want to make sure you put that in there. We'll do this one in Texas, except for that zip code doesn't really match up. We'll just put that as California. There we go. Now, the things you guys need to pay attention to here is industry. Industry is cool. You can see there's like about 10 or 15 different industry types here. And what this is templates back at our FortiAnalyzer that all these logs are being sent to. If you guys are familiar with FortiAnalyzer, that's Fortinet's logging program for Fortinet devices. Don't get that confused with FortiSIM. FortiSIM, takes all devices. The FortiAnalyzer does Fortinet devices as a log aggregator and can do some really cool stuff. So FortiAnalyzer is really just a big SQL database, which is really cool. So all these templates that you can do are just SQL queries. So you can just have massive amounts of templates, and they're really cool. So we've created these templates for the industry type for those type of businesses that you do a CTAP for. So it does cater that template to that type of customer. So it makes it more relevant looking on the customer report. So if it is for a school, you'd probably want to choose education. If it's for maybe a little doctor's office or something like that, you'd want to choose healthcare, meaning that would do, PCI compliance for the retail. It would do HIPAA compliance for the healthcare. It would do, about Kid Protection Act and the education. I mean, there's just all kinds of cool stuff that it caters that report to there. So make sure you at least try to find an industry that's close enough to that type of client that you're doing a CTAP for. And of course, you want to do company size somewhere in there, and then an installed firewall if they already have one. You could, if they don't, just put not applicable. And that just gives us an idea. I think that'll actually put in the future reports kind of the battle card, right? So Fortinet, what you guys can access in the partner portal is our battle cards. And the battle cards is, us versus Cisco or us versus Sophos. If you just type in the search in battle card, you can always see those and download them. They're, just a little simple PDF showing the big differences and maybe some of the shortcomings of some of the other vendors that they don't like to talk about, especially SSL inspection, things like that. The model number, this is of course important. The Fortigate 60E, I'll just choose that one right now because that one just came out of beta and I have one of those. I'll grab my serial number. So this is important. You can't make an assessment unless you have that serial number, because what this is doing is when I create this assessment, it builds it on that FortiAnalyzer back at corporate dedicated for CTAP. And so once it's built on that Fortigate, or I'm sorry, on that FortiAnalyzer, it's looking, it's saying, okay, I'm built, I'm looking for this serial number, 870, and I'm just sitting there looking for it all day. So, I'm waiting for it to check in. So unless you don't put in the right serial number, it's never going to correctly create the report. So be sure to put in the correct serial number. You can't use some, generic serial number for one device creating multiple, or else it's going to be all screwed up. And then the firmware. Make sure you select the correct firmware. Now this is important because after I create this assessment, I'm going to be able to download a config file. And it needs to be for that particular version of firmware. So we've tested, that's what we do all day, the CTAP team. They're just testing different firmwares and the CTAP configuration and making sure it works perfectly. That's why it's not on that many models. We don't have this huge CTAP team just to be testing this all day. So just choose whatever OS model. If you have 5.6.2, this will not work yet on 6.0, so don't upgrade any little 60E to 6.0 because it won't work. So 5.6.2 would be the latest if you want to use that, and then you choose the network type. Now when you choose this network type, this is going to do, network type, internal LAN, but if you do deployment type, this will actually show in the top of the report what that looks like. So that's kind of important. Are you going to do it in transparent mode or one-arm sniffer? Now, this just edits the report. Now, if you guys want to do it different, that's going to be fine. It's the same configuration. That's not going to change the configuration type. But there's always two modes in that configuration file that you can do this in. Transparent mode, that's where it's kind of a break in the, break in the cable, or one-arm sniffer mode, where it's just a listen-only port 4, just span as much traffic to that port as you can. Log method. Now, this makes a difference for the type of unit you have. So the 60E does not have an internal hard drive. The 61 does, but that's not available for the CTAP program. So if you have a 60E, you're going to have to do remote server. Now, if you do have a 100D or a 300D, you can collect those logs locally and then do what is called a store and then upload, which gets a little bit more difficult because you do need to make sure you store those logs correctly and upload them, and you are limited to the size of the hard drive on that 100D or 300D. Create your logging dates, report, send a reminder. Yes, this will actually send you a reminder in email. So you can set that to yes if you want. Include FortiSandbox. Now the CTAP does have FortiSandbox where it can actually send files to the sandbox that they downloaded on their particular network, which is pretty cool because that functionality will be thrown in the bottom of that report. So FortiSandbox is now included. So this looks good. Of course, I'd want this title and phone in there on a normal one, and I'm going to go ahead and save this. So once I hit save, industry, I never selected it. Let's just say this is for a retail. Hit save. Oh, now this is important. So my 60E device that I have, this is just one, I have a unit to me. Now it's set to expire, the services soon. So this is just a little, warning for me because it knows using that 60E, it queries that back at corporate. So you want to make sure you guys have services on your 60E. Now, if you guys, of course, buy a brand new 60E, it's going to have a 1 year or 3 year or 5 year, whatever you buy. But if the services are running out, you will want to renew the UTM services. And you can do that just like an NFR, because it is not for resale, right? So you can always renew your services at that big 55% discount. So it's not very much, but you do want to make sure the box is licensed and has FortiGuard services on it. because that's what it uses to look at all this traffic going through. So once I do my new assessment, then I get access to download that config file, right? So I can download that. It's a .conf file. Of course, you can always open this with any type of text editor. It kind of looks like this, and I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with a config file, but you wouldn't load this like this, but now you get the config file. So once you have that config file, you can then restore a FortiGate's config by just going to Configuration, System Restore, and selecting that file. Now this isn't a password protected file, don't worry about that. You can just load it directly in there. The FortiGate will reboot, and it will now have its CTAP config on it. So I can close this now, and now you see it listed. So if you have multiple, like I said, they're all going to show up here. Anytime you log in, they're now going to be showing in your FortiGate model. So I am at the initiated stage. So this is now basically waiting for files back at corporate. So I've built this FortiGate on that FortiAnalyzer, and it's sitting there waiting for files. So let me go back here to dashboard and show you. So this FortiGate, the FortiAnalyzer hasn't seen any log files from this device. So once I plug that in and it's actually sending logs to it, this is actually going to green up. And it may go from green to red, but you could always hover your mouse over to it, and it will show you the last log date. So it'll tell you, okay, I did receive a log at this point. So at that point, you know it's working, but it may not just be sending logs directly at that point. But you should see this green up for the most part. Now, once that's greened up, in the SMB side, we recommend 3 to 5 business days. Now, this is completely dependent on a client. So if your client is a school level or something, and they just have tons and tons of traffic, that's going to be different. You can just do it for a day or two. You just don't want that report to be empty, right? You want to have lots of logs to be able to build these charts with, lots of applications that it's seen and looked through. I've never seen a report that isn't not necessarily dirty, but it does show things that can be considered malware, like browser extensions that got installed or that people don't know about and things like that. Even though it is malware and it's really maybe not doing anything that's, super bad, but, just sending your information back to some tracking, monitoring, marketing people. So, of course, it'll show you all that, any viruses it downloads, and of course with the sandbox, any files that it sends to it, it'll show you all that. So that's really cool. And what's nice about the 60E is without the hard drive, after the assessment's done, you don't have to go in and grab into a CLI and do a format log disk like you would with a unit that has that. Because keeping these logs, and we do go into that on the legal side, you're not able to keep people's logs. And that brings up another important point. We don't keep the logs either. So once this assessment is done, I can go over here to Actions, and my logs are ready. I can set that to request a final report. What this is going to do is complete the assessment and tell the CTAP group to go, hey, can you go ahead and now run my report? And so this may take anywhere from 5 minutes to a day. It just depends on how many logs and how long the system takes to generate that report. So once that report is ready, you can download it as a PDF. But I recommend you download it right away. We don't keep customers' logs on the CTAP program. So once you do that and you get the report, you're going to need to create a new assessment if you want to run another report. We're not just going to store the logs forever. We delete them pretty quickly just by law. We need to. But that's all I need to do. So I have my actions over here, and I can always edit the assessment if I do need to change anything here. Maybe like, oh crap, it wasn't retail. They're actually healthcare. You can always do that. But completing the assessment or doing your logs ready will then say, okay, take all those existing logs you have now and generate the report. So that's about it on the creating the new assessment. And again, guys, take advantage of this. $250. I mean, I wish I could use mine to go out there and pay my car payment each month just to doing one of these each time. But they don't allow me to. So be sure to get you guys. And what's nice is if you guys need a quote for 60E with the NFR pricing, let Exclusive know, let me know, or even Mary, and we can get you guys over a quote for one. But this is a heck of a deal to run on the 60E now, just because and the reason for it is because the new 60Es have that SoC3 chip, and they're blazing fast. They're actually faster than the older 100B. So for the price point, especially at a 55% off, these things are great devices. So other than that, that's about it for me today. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Again, check out all this through the promotion side on the partner portal. Now, these do change from quarter to quarter, but right now, take advantage of this being extended into Q2, the CTAP program and that reward. I'm not saying that I would say I'm pretty positive it's not going to go away anytime soon, but unfortunately, they don't even tell the employees what's coming up on the promotions per quarter to quarter. So I'm, hoping that it does get continued on, but it could stop. So don't quote me there. So the security fabric incentive, of course, if a sale does come out of it, be sure to check the security fabric and make sure you know if a switch or an access point or FortiClient, basically security fabric ready products, they'll keep adding on additional money there. So take advantage of that, the security fabric promotion going on. We do have these new SMB bundles, which is really good for I think it's a 60E, an access point, and a small switch, with the 24/7 report for 45% off. So this is a great advantage as well. Be sure to check out the SMB data bundle. And that's about it on the different spiffs going on right now. And now, again, deal registration also dropped. All those authorized partners, take advantage of that as well. That is now being able to do a deal reg for any deal over $5,000. So that was a big help this quarter as well. So all that, please take advantage of. And I think that just about is everything in my presentation for today. If you guys have any questions, please use the Q&A to ask now. And if not, I'll give you guys a few minutes for questions. If not, I will go ahead and end it for the day. Let you guys get back to your Wednesday here.
All right. Thank you so much, Christian, for taking your time out to present and educate our partners on the CTAP. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to write them in the Q&A box or the chat box. Let's wait for a couple of minutes here to see if there are any questions. Meanwhile, let me share my screen again. So again, if you have any questions later, you can always, contact your regional sales manager, and they can, help you answer them. Or you can also email me at marketing_us@exclusive-networks.com. And I can also get in touch with Christian and get them answered for you. So before we jump on the raffle drawing, let me also show you our website where we have added the Forti-Reward banner. So when you click on this, you will have access to all the information on Fortinet solutions on just one page. So you can, go on here and, explore yourself and get information on anything you need on Fortinet products and solutions. So That's about it. And let's go on the raffle drawing for 2 people to win $25 Amazon gift card. I'm going to do a final drawing and wait on the results. All right, Brian Mitchell and Steve Thompson. Congratulations, guys. I'm going to later email you your e-code. And once again, thank you everyone for joining us. And we will see you in a couple weeks again with Fortinet. Thank you.